listening to 40 Weeks, a production of the Pregnancy Podcast with Vanessa Merton. Visit pregnancypodcast.com/week for all of the 40 Weeks resources and sign up with your due date to get each episode delivered to your inbox when you start a new week of your pregnancy. Thank you for tuning in to the 40 Weeks podcast. Welcome to week 37. Only 3 weeks to go. See a picture of what your baby looks like this week, read the transcript, and access the additional resources for week 37 at pregnancypodcast.com/week 37. Your baby was the size of a bunch of romaine lettuce last week, and they're growing to the size of a canary melon this week. Your baby measures 18.9 inches or 48 centimeters long and weighs 6.7 pounds or about 3 kilograms. Your baby's head is still growing and will be the same circumference as its hips, abdomen, and shoulders at birth. Your baby is packing on the fat this week, little dimples are forming, and they may get some little rolls of baby fat. If your baby is born from 37 weeks until 38 weeks, 6 days, they're considered early term. The last few weeks of pregnancy are crucial for brain and lung development. So I know you may be ready to meet your little baby, but hold tight just a little longer. When you've made it through most of your pregnancy and you're in the final stretch, you enter the waiting game of going into labor. You may consider trying methods to induce labor naturally. Some mothers start taking evening primrose oil in week 37. You should run any natural induction methods by your doctor or midwife. There is some evidence that evening primrose oil could increase your risk of some complications. For an analysis of the risks, benefits, and evidence of many methods to induce labor naturally, visit pregnancypodcast.com/inducing labor naturally. Waiting for labor can be nerve-wracking for 2 main reasons. First, you don't know when you're going to go into labor. Secondly, you don't know how to tell that you genuinely have started labor and that it isn't just a false alarm. Check out pregnancypodcast.com/labor signs for the signs that you're in labor or that labor will begin soon. While most movies show labor starting with your water breaking in some very public place, only about 8% of labors start with water breaking. When this does happen, it can be a gush of fluid or a slow trickle. And there's an acronym to help you remember what to look for when your water breaks. And that is COAT. So C stands for color. Amniotic fluid should be clear or slightly cloudy. If it's greenish or brownish, that could be a sign that your baby had a bowel movement before birth and that there's meconium in the amniotic sac. That can be a concern because it can cause breathing complications. The O stands for odor. Amniotic fluid is odorless, and this can help you distinguish the fluid from urine or discharge. A stands for amount. You want to take note as to if it's a gush or a slow leak. And T stands for time. Make a note of when your water broke. If you think that your water broke, call your doctor or midwife and share these details with them. This can help them give you instructions on what to do next. The 24-hour rule is a standard policy practiced by many doctors that you must go into labor or have your baby within 24 hours of your water breaking. The goal of this is to reduce infection, and different providers may have differing policies. For more on the evidence of premature rupture of the membranes and the 24-hour rule, visit pregnancypodcast.com/prom. You should make sure that you know when to call your care provider or when to come in with contractions. Generally, if you're past 37 weeks, you don't need to contact your doctor or midwife for contractions until they're about 1 minute long, 5 minutes apart, and continue for 1 hour. And if your doctor or midwife has given you different guidelines, then go by those. Remember, there are 3 measurements you want to track: the length of a single contraction, the time between contractions, and how long they've been going on. There's a lot of simple apps for your phone that make it really easy to time and track these. And if you ever have any doubt, call your doctor or midwife. They can probably tell how your labor is progressing by talking to you on the phone. If you have contractions that you cannot walk or talk through, then it's likely time to head to your hospital or birth center or call your midwife if you plan a home birth. As your body prepares for birth, your cervix will begin to soften. It opens up, which is referred to as dilating, and it also thins, which is referred to as effacing. As your due date gets closer, your care provider may offer a vaginal exam to examine your cervix. Your doctor or midwife measures progress in terms of centimeters and percentages. When you're ready to push your baby out, your cervix will be 10 centimeters dilated and 100% effaced. Despite vaginal exams being routine, there are questions about what the results show, the risks that are involved, and the psychological effects. For a deep dive into the evidence on vaginal exams, visit pregnancypodcast.com/vaginal exam. I know that you have already done so much preparation for labor, birth, and having your baby. Planning is also vital in setting yourself up for an ideal postpartum period. Don't wait until your baby arrives to think about recovery and taking care of yourself. Tip for dads and partners. Whether or not you're ready, you will soon be the proud parent of a new baby. There's an episode on preparing for parenthood for dads and partners. This will prepare you for birth, give you tips on how to be supportive in the postpartum period, and cover your role with a new baby at home. You can check out that episode at pregnancypodcast.com/partner. Thank you for tuning in to the 40 Weeks podcast. You can see the full transcript and all of the resources for this episode at pregnancypodcast.com/week37. Next week, your baby fine-tunes its brain and nervous system. Until then, I wish you the very best in your pregnancy journey.